What's going on YouTube? N3RD Reviews here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Monster Arts Comic-Con Explosion Godzilla by TMASHI Nations and Bandai. And here's a quick look at the figure's packaging. You can see the figure's not in the package, I already took it out. And here's the top of the packaging. It says SH Monster Arts Godzilla Comic-Con Explosion. Coming down the side we have, well, the front of the package, we have a nice artistic image of Explosion Godzilla. It says San Diego Comic-Con International, Bandai, TMASHI Nations, Monster Maker, Godzilla Comic-Con Explosion, the Godzilla 2012 symbol, the read-up on the SH Monster Arts, and ages 15 and up. We have SH Monster Arts, just Godzilla Comic-Con Explosion. Other side we have SH Monster Arts and an image of Godzilla's tail and half of his head overlapping from the front and the back of the packaging. Godzilla Comic-Con Explosion, Japanese and the back of the packaging was really nice. We have Explosion Godzilla destroying the San Diego Convention Center. People running. Really nice artwork. I love that as a poster. We have a Monster Maker and illustrator and character design. This is actually the only read-up that I've noticed that's actually in English. The rest of them are all in Japanese. So it's really nice. That's pretty much it for packaging. Now we're going to take a better look at the figure out of package. Stay tuned. And here we have Explosion Godzilla out of packaging. This figure comes with no accessories. It's just itself. So let's have a closer look at some of the details. And here's an up-close look at Explosion Godzilla. It's really detailed. From a distance, it's really hard to pick up some of the details they put in here because of the paint scheme they went with. But it's really a very nicely detailed figure. As you can see in the head and the eyes, the nice dark red eyes. You can see the red painting on the tongue. There's this clear orange, yellow, and red translucent plastic through the whole figure, and it's really done really nicely. Whereas the tips of his fingernails and his spikes and his toenails are this yellow, to where it seems to get darker towards the center of his abdomen and stomach, the core, to be really to be more hot, a dark reddish color, and it gets lighter towards the tips. Really nice how they did that. This is the same exact figure as the standard Godzilla. It's just a repaint. I don't have the original, so it was a nice pickup for me. I was able to get this for cheaper than the original one cost. And since the original, they stopped making it with the atomic breath, I really wasn't missing out on anything. Just look at the side of the figure. Really nice. You can see the teeth. Spikes are done really weird. And they actually do a pretty good job of hiding the articulation. Really nice sculpt in these figures. These figures are just the best you can get for Godzilla. And here's a look at the back of the figure. See, the scales are painted really nicely. The spikes. Very long tail. The tail is really well articulated as well. I'll show you that in a minute. This is a really, really nice figure. I'm a huge fan of Godzilla, always was as a kid growing up, and these figures just blow my older figures out of the water. It's not even close. Really amazing sculpt. Let's have a look at some of Godzilla's articulation. We'll start with the head and neck area. See, he has separate joints. He has about 3 joints just in the neck and head. Allows him to rotate pretty nicely. The head can go up about that far. The jaw's articulated. And actually it can go down and shift left and right like that, as you can see, that weird overbite he had in the films. He has a split cut in the upper bicep. The elbow can rotate back and forth. The hand can rotate. He has some sort of torso rotation, but really it's kind of stiff. Do about that much. Very minimal ab crunch. The legs are really hefty, and that's where the articulation kind of lacks. You can see you can go back and forth about that much. The knee can bend very, very little. rotation at the lower calf area, and the ankle can rotate and go back and forth. That's pretty much it for the legs, but this is, again, based off of a person in the suit, and he wasn't able to do too much with his legs anyway, so you're not going to get Godzilla crouching or anything. Now, the tail has a lot of articulation. Each one of these segments is individually articulated. All the way down the tail, there's about 15, 20 of these segments, and the only thing that's clumped together is this last piece, because the segments are really small. But you can get a nice range, a natural flowing articulation from the tail. You just have to make sure the actual spikes stay lined up. When you start to rotate these things, they can get out of alignment, but the tail articulation is great and it looks really flush, as you can see. In the illustrations, it showed Godzilla in his swim mode, and you can get him in a nice interpretation of that. As you can see, the body's pretty stream and the tail. Too bad we don't have an actual cradle to have him sitting like this, but it's nice that he's actually able to get in this position. I don't think we've ever been able to get any other Godzilla figure into this actual position. So the articulation's well enough to where he can do this. So really nice on that. Now this Godzilla doesn't come with any accessories, but here he is posed with the fire breath that comes with the Fire Rodan. And the color, it just matches up perfect with this Godzilla. Little mini diorama I've set up. Cars are probably out of scale, but they look alright. Yeah, so I recommend you pick up Fire Rodan if you pick up this Godzilla, just so you can get the fire breath. It's a really great accessory. Matches up great with this Godzilla as well as Burning Godzilla. So I want to show you guys how that would look. And for a quick size comparison, Godzilla stands about 6 inches. And here he is next to the SH Monster Arts Fire Rodan. You see they're in pretty good scale with each other. As you see, he's shorter than your standard 7-inch figure like the NECA Isaac Clarke from Dead Space 2. And he's about even with this King Kong from the 2005 remake. This is unfortunately just a Playmates model. I'm waiting on the Monster Arts version. That one looks amazing. But it's a pretty decent sized figure. And if you haven't already checked these guys out, I recommend you give them a chance. They're really nice. Very well sculpted, probably the best Godzilla figures you're going to get as far as posability and detail. Stay tuned for my review of Fire Rodan. I'll be doing that one next. And this is N3RD Reviews. Thanks for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more figure reviews. Thanks, guys.